Hello, my first graders. Today we're going to look at a new story and we're going to talk about characters and how to discuss characters in a story, also finding evidence of why we think a character might act the way they do or why we might give a character trait to the characters or maybe why they feel a certain way. So I'm going to start off with using myself as an example. So if we were talking about me and you wanted to talk about my character traits, how would you describe me? Okay, so when we're talking about my character traits, I know we have our pathway to patriot pride. So there are character traits there like honesty and resolve problems, but we also want to think more about me as a person. How could you describe me? Would you say I'm serious? So remember the serious. Do I look like this all the time and I'm right like this? No, right? You watch my videos. Some of you have been on Zoom with me. I'm not a serious person. I'm not like this all the time, right? So you wouldn't use serious to describe me. Would you use funny? Okay. Do I make you laugh a little bit? Okay. So maybe you could say I'm funny. Maybe when you watch my videos, some of the silly faces I make, okay, that could be a describing word for me is funny. And the proof, like we kind of just said, would be in my videos, I make funny faces. So that's why you feel that I am funny. Okay, so proof is what do I do that makes you describe me that way? How about angry? Am I angry all the time? No, right? You don't see me as angry. So if I'm not angry, how would you describe that? Yeah, you could say, maybe I'm friendly, or some of you might say I'm nice. Okay, and then you could use proof. Well, why do you think I'm friendly or nice? Well, some of you are on Zoom with me, and I always talk to you nicely. Some of you were on Zoom and we talked about how smiling is a way to show that I'm friendly. So you could say, Mrs. Bell smiles all the time. Why I think she's friendly. Okay, so when we're talking about a character trait, we want to think, well, why do you think that way? Why do you think that person is that way? So today, we're not just going to describe me. We're going to look at a story called Amazing Grace. Okay, and let me show you just a picture of the cover, Amazing Grace. So in our story today, this little girl is our main character, and her name is Grace. That's part of the reason why she's called Amazing Grace. So as we're reading this story, and actually you're going to be listening to it today, as you're listening to Amazing Grace, I want you to think about this character, Grace. How can we describe her? And not just describe her, but you want to think, well, why do you feel that way? You know, is she going to be friendly? Is she going to be nice? Right? How is she feeling? Is she happy? Is she sad? Maybe it changes throughout the story. Sometimes our characters, they're not always happy. Sometimes things happen that make them sad or angry. So as you're listening to this, I want you to think about our character Grace. Okay, let's think, how can we describe her? Okay, not how she looks, but describe her as a person. Okay, describe her as a person. And then also maybe how she's feeling. Let's think about how she's feeling in the beginning, maybe how she's feeling in the middle, and then how she's feeling at the end of the story, because her feelings are going to change as you're listening to the story. Okay, but not only do you want to see why are her feelings changing? What happens in our story that makes those feelings change? Okay, so we're going to focus on Grace in our story today. All right, I hope you enjoy the book.